The Easter egg is not so hard this time. Or, this is just a power switch.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, JC, and today I have a more casual video than normal. And some of you guys hopefully will agree with what I'm saying in this video. And if you don't, oh well, tell me why in the comments. But let's get started. So the main thing I want to talk about today is what could Treyarch do to make zombies way more fun, way more what's the word? I guess replayability is the word. It would make it have so much more replayability if we had what I'm about to talk about. And the main thing I'm talking about is customization. And this is a big topic, and I could literally go on if I really sat here and thought about all the things that could possibly happen. I could go on for about an hour talking about customization and stuff and what I think should be in the game. For those of you who do not know, we had a podcast at Zombie called Z Night. And during the podcast, one of the guys gave a question to us, saying, "What could Treyarch have done to make Grief better? Like, what could make Grief better? Like, what additions to Grief could make it a better game mode than it already is?" And I think I answered in the video, like, customization and stuff, but I didn't. It kind of got me on this roll, like later at night when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, I need to make a video about this because I have a bunch of ideas that Treyarch really needs to take into account. I don't know if Treyarch has thought about this stuff and they're just saving it for next-gen consoles, or if they are actually don't want to do it for some reason. I don't know. But the main thing that comes to mind is Halo 3. And for those of you who do not know what Halo mainly is, the most fun I've had on Halo is playing custom games. And, you know, the story's good and everything, but custom games is the big thing with Halo. And Halo 4 kind of screwed up custom games, and that's why I don't play it that much. But the main thing that you can do in Halo is that you can basically customize every single game mode to your liking, every preference, every setting, pretty much everything. People come up with their own game modes, and that's why it is so awesome. And I've always wanted to see something like this in Call of Duty. So the first thing I was thinking about was, in Grief mode specifically, wouldn't it be cool if you could limit what perks were on the map? Think about it. You could go into the settings before the match and turn off what perks you don't want to be allowed. So, for example, and it would only be relative to the map you're on. So, say you're playing Grief on Town, and you know there's Juggernog, Double Tap, Quick Revive, Sleight of Hand, and Stamina Up. Yeah, Stamina Up. And say you don't want Juggernog to be in the Grief match. What you can do is just hit the off button. You just press off in the settings, and the machine in game will be turned off. And that would be sweet, and that would make the game more fun. Like if you wanted to have a match where you could only use Sleight of Hand and no one could get Jug, if you only wanted Stamina Up to be the only perk you could buy on the map, that stuff would be cool. I'm not talking about like replacing the perks with different ones from different maps, because that might be a little bit too in-depth. I'm talking about just specifically turning off the ones you don't want on the map or you don't want available in the game. And I don't see why they haven't done this, because it's a good idea, and especially on Buried, because Cell Block, Grief Cell Block, and Mob of the Dead, the reason why that's so much fun is because there's no Jug. It makes it so much different from anything else that we play. And when you play Buried, there's Juggernog, sorry. but like in Buried, you have that concept of, all right, I got Juggernog, I'm safe. I just wish there was different ways we could play the game, if that makes sense to you guys. This kind of brings me into my next idea, which is a hardcore mode. And I've thought about this for a long time, specifically because the only option when you go into custom games is easy mode or normal mode. That's all the options we have. It literally says custom games. Like Call of Duty renamed private match into custom match. So it's almost like they're trying to do what Halo does, but it doesn't work. Like they don't have any options. Let's think about all the options they have in Zombies. Headshots only. That's the only real gameplay option. And the other one is magic, on or off. And magic is such a general term. I mean, if you turn magic off, you're basically turning off everything on the map, basically. I just wish there's a way to separate all that little stuff into different categories. But the main thing that I'm talking about right now is a hardcore mode. And think about it for a second. This would be so awesome if you could play Grief in hardcore mode. And for some reason, I don't think you can play on easy mode in Grief. I don't think you can. I might be wrong about that, but I wish you could turn it to easy mode. Like I would never play on easy mode personally, but I could see some people wanting to play on easy mode. But say there's a hardcore mode, I want that to be able to be played in Grief because you could have it where the zombies, they kill you in 1 hit, and if you have Jug, they kill you in 3 hits. So it would make it so awesome. It would make it so much fun. I can just see it now. You spawn in and someone's like, "What? I died instantly," or something like, I don't know. Anything like that is cool. Now, this kind of also ties into another point I had, which is just overall the custom settings. So what you could do, and what I wish was implemented later in the future, is I want there to be some sort of what's the word? Oh god, like more in-depth settings. Like for example, in Halo, and I know I'm gonna keep referencing Halo because that's the game that does it the best. It really does. Besides Halo 4, but specifically in Zombies, what you could do is you could make it where your damage modifier, which is how much damage your bullets do, you can make that 200%, so your pistol, like your starting pistol, does a little bit more damage, etc., etc. You could do stuff like that. You could do stuff where you have 300% health. You could do stuff where you have 200% health, and it really doesn't matter because it's all about having fun, and it's a custom match, so it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not going to be on the leaderboards or anything, so I don't see what's the problem and why they can't do something like this. I mean, 200% health, that would be pretty interesting. I mean, I probably wouldn't play on it because it wouldn't be fun for me because you'd just survive the whole time, but I could see some people wanting to do that. Another thing that kind of goes with this is the zombies' health themselves. Now, I know their health gets better each round, and that's just kind of how zombies works, but what if you could set the beginning health of them? Like, it's hard to explain. Say you could set the zombies to how they are in Round Infinity. So you could set them to invincible, pretty much. So you cannot kill them. And this is just a fun thing. If you've ever played Fat Kid on Halo, and it's a game mode where the zombie or the infected, he walks like 2 centimeters a second, and he is invincible. And everyone just is running from him because he's so powerful, but he's invincible. But I wouldn't do it where the zombies were walking very slow. I would do it where you could customize and say they're invincible. So think about playing a Grief game where the zombies are invincible. You can still do damage to them and get points, but they're invincible, so they won't die. Just imagine playing a game like that and how the gameplay would be different. You wouldn't be killing the zombies to survive against the other team. You would, honestly, what I would do, I would take the train of zombies that's behind me, and I'd run them to the enemy team and kind of get them killed. Like, bring the horde to them and get them to run away from it. So basically everyone in the game would be running away from zombies, and it would be interesting. It might get boring, I don't know, but it's just stuff like this this is all the options you can have, and this would be so cool if you could play in these different situations. So it'd be like Round Infinity, but on round 1, I guess. But that's another thing as well. Customizing the zombies' speed is one good thing as well. Like, for example, let's just say they don't want to go too in depth with that, but say you want to customize just whether or not the zombie is a walker, a runner, or a crawler. Maybe not crawlers, maybe just walkers or runners. Say you wanted all the zombies to be walkers because that's like the classic zombie feel, how they walk very slowly like this. But maybe you want them all to be runners, so at round 1 they're running at you. Just stuff like that would work as well. I mean, I think it'd be cool if you're playing and you're like on round, like the highest, like a really high round. And this isn't just grief. I'm not talking about just grief, even though that's what the video is about. I'm talking about in survival as well, just custom survival, just different ways to play. I think it'd be cool if you're on a very high round and the zombies are still walking slow at you, and it gets harder to kill them, It'll be easier, I guess, but it'd be fun. Like, I just want to have fun when I'm playing, right? I don't really care about high rounds that much. I do high rounds to get on the leaderboards like one time, I guess, and after that, I don't ever try to go for a high round ever again. It's just not fun. It gets old, and new things like that. That's what we need. We need innovation. That's the big word, innovation. We need more ways to play. And that kind of leads into my next topic, kind of. I know I keep saying that, but my segues are kind of bad. Well, but who cares? So I had this idea that you could spawn in the game and you could choose before the match what weapon you want to spawn with. Now, this would not be that hard to implement. I don't see how it could be that hard, honestly. Depending on what map you're on, you could spawn with any weapon that's on that map. And that would be fun in Grief. Just imagine in Grief if everyone spawned with a war machine at the beginning on round 1. That would be hilarious. Come on, you have grenades everywhere. And you just see explosions everywhere, and everyone would be like freaking out. But I think that'd be cool. Or maybe you want a Barrett 50 cal because it's not that great, but it's decent enough to get you kills at the beginning. It's a little bit more powerful than a pistol. Just anything like that. Like, I guess you could say a ray gun at spawn, but that would be kind of lame. But I don't know, little stuff like that. I think it'd be awesome to have an SMR at round 1. I mean, quite frankly, it's worse than the starting pistol anyways. But, yeah. So, not only do I think you should be able to customize what weapon you start with, and keep in mind, I don't want to destroy the zombie formula. Because the zombie formula is you spawn with a garbage weapon and you build yourself up with points and get better weapons, better perks, etc., etc. You get better stuff as you go along. That's the formula. But who cares if it's in a custom match, right? I mean, they already screwed up the custom, like the normal private matches in Black Ops 2, the custom matches, where they don't even count on the leaderboards, but in Black Ops 1 they do, which makes no sense at all. So you have to literally search and find a match to even get counted on the leaderboards. So you're not going to find all these custom matches when you're finding a match. So just leave the custom matches outside the leaderboards, and this will all be okay, and it will not inflict upon the zombie formula. And I am an old school zombie formula guy. I love the formula of zombies, and I don't want any maps. No maps in the future. I still want you to start with a pistol. That should always be the thing. But I think you should be able to choose if you want to or not in a custom game. But not only that, but what if, all right, say for instance you're playing Buried, right? And you got this guy with you on the enemy team. Say you're playing Grief 4v4. And you know that one guy who gets the paralyzer every single time. And it changes the game. The paralyzer really does change the game. So, say for instance, you don't want anybody to have the paralyzer because it's so overpowered. You can fly everywhere. You know, I mean, it's unlimited ammo. You can fly everywhere, revive your teammates, etc., etc. What if you could limit what guns are in the box, in the mystery box? So you could customize what weapons, depending on the map, of course, are in the box. So you could say there's like a little tab in the options menu in custom games, and it just says mystery box weapons. And you go in there and it has all the guns on the map highlighted like on or yes or whatever. And then you can just scroll down the list and just select the ones you do not want in the box off. So you don't want an SMR in that grief match because it's crap anyways, take off the SMR, etc., etc. But I don't think the Paralyzer is bad to play with. I'm just saying some people might not want to have the Paralyzer in their game. Some people might not want to have any assault rifles in the box or any wonder weapons in the box. I know when you turn off magic, it turns off the box completely. What if you could just go into the box settings and turn off all the wonder weapons like the ray gun and the Paralyzer, etc., whatever weapons you think are overpowered, and you still have the RPD and stuff like that on other maps. But I think that would be cool. It would really change the way that you play Grief on that map. Because if you think about it, whoever has the Paralyzer on that team, they have a big advantage because he can almost save anybody on the team if he's good. He can fly around, save anybody, freeze the zombies, whatever. And, it would... Normally, when you have the Paralyzer, you, fly up to a location and you don't really have that risk of falling and stuff. But if you didn't have that, just think of not having that one game. It would really change the way you play the game. And that's what I want to do. I want innovation in the way we play zombies. And I'm still on the topic of weapons because I also thought about this could be a little bit harder to implement because it might have to do with the game coding and stuff, and that would be kind of hard. But I always wondered if you could customize what weapons were on the walls. And specifically also what points, how much they cost. And I'll get to that a little bit later. But I think it'd be cool if it not just... I don't think you should be able to say every weapon you want to be on a wall, because that'd be really hard to do. You can't really specify which wall you want a weapon to be on in a custom match. So say you're playing Transit, and I know Transit's a bad example, kind of, but say you're playing Transit, and you, before the match, you went into the settings, and there's a wall weapons settings, and it says all weapons are default on the map, and that's the one that's already selected. And you could change it to say assault rifles or SMGs. What I'm thinking of is a generic class of weapons on the wall location. So say you don't want any SMGs as the wall weapons. You don't want the SMGs, because most of them are SMGs on the wall. So you don't want any of that. You want all assault rifles on the wall. So you go into the settings and you go wall weapons, assault rifles. So every single wall weapon will be an assault rifle. Or snipers, but there's not that many snipers, so there'd be some limitations, of course, but you get what I'm saying. I think it'd be cool if you go around the map and there's an AN-94 at this location, there might be another AN-94 location, etc., etc. Like the M16 is on the map. It's just stuff like that is cool. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, okay. Going into the points, actually, wait, I'll save this for last, I think. Because I have one more thing I want to talk about, really. Or a couple of things I want to talk about. But an idea I had was that maybe you could customize also. And you could see it. Imagine it in your head. You have the perks tab to customize what perks are on the map. You have the settings, like your health, the zombies' health, etc. You have what mode, hardcore, easy, and normal. And also, I forgot to mention in hardcore mode, it would be cool if they limited your HUD so you can't see your ammo and stuff. So it's really realistic, but not, it's a game. It's still not gonna be realistic all the way. But you know what I mean? It'd be cool like that. Maybe you don't regenerate. That'd be too bad, I think. But you could customize that in the hardcore section, though. You could customize your HUD. If you do want your HUD on, you could customize that, kind of like you can in multiplayer. If you want fast health regeneration instead of slow health regeneration, etc., etc. But getting into so you have a custom perks section, you have a custom settings section, you have the hardcore mode, like the mode section, you have the mystery box little section in the settings, and then you have the spawn weapons in the section, in like its own little section. You have wall weapons, and another section. Now this is a really cool one, and I really like this idea.